feel that their sacrifice has been for something. And they will say that the United States, maybe it's not safer, maybe this was just a symbolic moment, but the reason they signed up for military service, and so many of these young men and women signed up after 9/11, was to achieve a victory against Osama Bin Laden. This is a turning point for the global war on terrorism, and in many ways, the global war on terrorism, which has defined our generation, which has defined the way we live, every way we get on airports, we get on planes, the way we live our day-to-day life, may be changing right now. And I think this is an incredibly significant development, David.
Richard, from your reporting, from your experience on the battlefield and in capitals throughout the Arab world, is this the end of something in terms of those people that Osama bin Laden reached, or is it perhaps the beginning of something? Does his death make him a martyr?
I think this is the end of something. We have seen for the last decade Salafi Islam, extremist Islam, ride an incredible crest of popularity, and now with his demise, which I assume we are going to hear the president announce very soon, we could be turning into a new phase. The Arab revolutions, which I am witnessing right here, are starting, and if the 1990s were defined by Islamic radicalism and the last decade was defined by the global war on terrorism, the next decade could be defined by a new period, which is the period of Arab democracy, the period of Arab unity. And if people assume that Osama bin Laden is dead and a new era is beginning, then I think there is a chance for not only a turning point for the U.S. foreign policy, which I mentioned before, the way the United States conduct our daily lives, but in a new way for the way the Middle East operates. We look at the Middle East in terms of historical periods. The last decade was defined by our war against bin Laden, our war against terrorism, our war against fear. This new decade, which is being defined